Hello and welcome to another episode of Marketing Actively. I'm delighted to have Dean McMahon from Embassy Gyms here with us today. On today's podcast, we'll be going through everything from mental health, physical activity, your well-being, and how it increases productivity within the workplace and in life in general. So delighted to have Dean here with us. Dean, do you want to give us an introduction to yourself, please?
Yeah, cool. As I said, thanks for having me here. I'm Dean. I'm the owner of Embassy Gyms in Carrickmacross. And basically what we do is we are an open gym, but we're moving more towards trying to have as much impact as possible through coaching people, both inside and outside the gym. I think what's becoming more relevant now is the whole community aspect of it and how it can not only impact you while you're doing your session, but what's the widespread kind of impact like in your life and workplace, at home with family, and just general like energy and happiness and so lifestyle satisfaction is massive. So started myself PTing in 2020, got qualified around the time of COVID, just before actually, and then obviously there was no job, so had to forget with that for a while. But when things opened back up, I got a PTing role in a gym in Castleblaney. I was just literally using a rack down the back, working around his kind of sessions and stuff like that, and it got me off the ground, I suppose. And then I actually moved to renting a space and a gym actually just about 100 meters down from bit bigger of a space. I have my own kind of equipment in there and stuff, and kind of built that up over the next, I suppose, 6-7 months, between kind of shutdowns of different periods of COVID and stuff too, obviously, which was a bit of a nightmare. But I suppose I built up a client base probably in the region, I suppose like 20-30 clients at the time, and that was kind of in between doing a bit of college and stuff too, so it was never really full time. Didn't really know where I was going with it, but I definitely knew it was something I wanted to continue doing. And then it came to the point where things were getting quite busy with the personal training, and I had another year left in college, and I made the call to actually drop out of college and go fully into PT. So what happened there was another mate of mine, Leon, who was the original business partner with me in Embassy, we moved my place from Blaney into Carrickmacross, got a better unit basically, and we got more equipment, and we just kind of took it off from there. So basically in a shed in Carrick, but I think actually around the time we were known as the boys in the shed because we didn't have a name, but we were kind of working like not together, but like as two independent PTs in that kind of, I guess, studio, and it got pretty busy to the point where I was probably working one-on-one sessions, maybe 60-70 hours a week, both of us were, and we were never out of the place. So and we literally only had, I think, 2 racks, dumbbells, cable machine. I think we got a random leg press at one stage in there. We had a few different bits, we were making it work. And then we kind of recognised like that gym I actually started off and closed in Blaney. The other gym beside it closed, and there was literally nowhere left for anyone to go. So like, there's a market there. The unit next to us was available, so we actually knocked the wall from where we were into that and took it over. And we started the first version of Embassy, which was basically just an open gym. And then that was cool or whatever, but from us with a coaching background, we were kind of sick of watching people make a mess of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And we recognised the need for kind of more impact and stuff. And then that was, what year was that? We opened that Embassy in 2022. So yeah, we had that open for exactly a year. Actually opened it in October 2022, and then myself and Leon decided to go separate ways. He wanted to go more online coaching, and he actually moved to Dubai. His girlfriend's over in Dubai, so he moved over there. That's where he is at the minute. I think he's loving it. How would you not be? Yeah. But then I opened the new version of Embassy exactly a year after the first one in a new location in Carrick, and I went straight down the coaching route with that, and that's what I'm trying to develop at the minute, I guess.
Okay, and how did you develop out the brand for Embassy? Like, where did Embassy come from?
The name? Yeah, so it's actually a funny one. So in that original, not the original, the first place we had in Carrick, we basically, it was a shed, so we wanted to make it look kind of cool, so we put a load of like flags all down the roof, and like clients started calling it the Embassy, just like taking the piss. Yeah. And we just kind of went with it, and we thought it was a good neutral name. Like a lot of gyms kind of either go with like too, I don't want to say soft of a name, or too like aggressive of a name, and like it can either put people off in 2 different directions. Do you know what I mean? So we said Embassy's like a kind of a very inclusive but strong name, and we were like
creating an institute nearly.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like the ambassadors of fitness or whatever. Yeah. But and I was just like, people would kind of question it a little bit too, which brought a bit of, you know, story about it as well. Like people are like, why is it called Embassy? And you give them a bit of a story and they kind of like it then, you know. So kind of went with that. It was actually called Embassy Barbell originally because we put the barbell in to try and make it more relevant to a gym. But when I opened up this year, I just cut the barbell out and it's Embassy now. So that's what we went with Embassy. Yeah, it came from the flags on the roof.
Yeah, and like in terms of like the fitness world at the minute, obviously it's grown so much over the past 2 to 3 years after COVID. How do you make yourself so unique and different to all the other offerings of PT coaching, gyms out there? Yeah. What makes Embassy unique?
Yeah, it's tough. It's fitness is like everywhere. It's blown up, and it's very hard to. I think like what I'm doing now with the small group PT used to be like a kind of a niche market, and now it's like commoditized. Like you have the big pure gyms and FlyFits and all that offering like small group PT. It's probably not the same product in what they're actually giving, but it's labeled the same. How do you differentiate it? A lot of it's like real low tier pricing, very hard to compete with when you have a small company. Like they have multiple locations, they can price what they want, they get their equipment for less because they buy in bulk. It's very hard for a small gym to kind of compete with that now. But I think the big thing now is community, and like organic marketing, I suppose, as well, through like just doing a good job, referrals, making something that people want to be a part of. And then they'll bring more people into the business with them. So let's say you get someone in and they're brand new to gym and they've maybe tried open gym before and stuff, never really gelled with it, and they meet us and they have this community buzz. They're going to the run clubs, they're going to the social events, they're hanging around the gym after, or they're just absolutely, it's making an impact in their life. They tell their friends in, and you end up building a community of like-minded people just by doing good. I think that's kind of more important now than what leg press you have or what squat racks or what plate. You need the best equipment. We work with Black Box, they're really, really good, but more so than that, you need the best people. Yeah. And it's basically trying to make it that it doesn't have to be me doing the marketing to a certain extent, that like we can actually get our own clients to do the marketing for us by just doing a good job, just being sound,
Yeah, and like that's massive. Like we done a talk there over the last couple of weeks about user generated content and how that's blown up massively. How people can review your business and spread your business, in a really positive way. So that's obviously working very well for yourself. People are probably checking in, that they're here doing their sessions, they're talking to their friends about it. Yeah. You've probably seen a lot of growth in that area.
100%, and it's also the best quality of growth. Yeah. Like we've done, like look at paid market and all that works. It's great. And we've got some excellent people into the business through that. It's fantastic. But like the best quality, I suppose, the best quality of a lead or something that can come to the business is actually a referral. Like somebody that was here really enjoyed it and told somebody else to come. Do you know what I mean? Because they're already like kind of pre-educated on what you're all about. The culture is already there. It's in a sense with them, and they gel so well in. And it's just I suppose the organic end of it, just by doing a good job, is the big thing. But also I think, and the route I'm trying to go down is, I took a trip to Texas last year, random enough, but there's a few good gyms over there I want to see and stuff. But what I noticed was a lot of them weren't even calling themselves gyms, and like you go in and it's like the best equipment, it's unbelievable, like the place is immaculate. But one of them actually, it's called Collective, it's called Social Performance Club. The website doesn't mention gym, Instagram doesn't mention gym, nothing mentions gym. There's no gym written outside, inside, nothing. It's a social performance club, and there's like ping pong tables, and there's like
to building a community.
It's a whole thing, and they have like a coffee shop and people hang around after. They even do like, there's like a WeWork desks, you can work there. It's a concept more than it's basically building a third place for people where they've got the home, they've got work, and they've got there. It's like a circle,
Yeah, well, like the importance of work-life balance now is massive, so people can go into a place like that and have that flexibility. It's obviously, going to be positive for them.
And there's definitely, I think, as well as that, even with work at the minute, like there's probably a social deficit with a lot of people working from home. Yeah. There's like, people aren't socialising. They might go out on the weekends, but people, I think, are starting to realise now how much of their social life actually used to exist in work, just with our pals and stuff, like you guys all hanging around here and stuff like that. But now that everyone's working from home, there's none of that anymore, and people are starting to like feel negative effects from it, I suppose, even like mental health and stuff. But having somewhere to go, a community-based gym on your lunch break or before work or after work, brings that back in, I suppose. Yeah,
look, the human need for social acceptance is there, you know, it's in us all, so that has to be fulfilled. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's even I was looking up stats the other day and stuff on this, because kind of we build our thing off, I suppose, group training at the minute. I think research has shown about 63% more adherence over a 12-month period when people are training in a group over the last number of years. And it's probably people it's a social gel, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if someone's, let's say, thinking of maybe leaving a gym because they don't enjoy their training, but they've got 5 other pals that are always there with them, there's a good chance they'll stick with it and get through that little phase and start enjoying it again. Whereas if they're training solo and they're like, I don't like this anymore, they're gone. Do you know what I mean?
And you mentioned, look, it's all about building a community now, and obviously you're at the forefront of that, but you're obviously investing in your team, you know, and upskilling them, and they're so important in creating that community as well, because as you expand and grow your business, you can't always be there, you know, the whole time.
Yeah.
So how do you go about training, upskilling your staff, and, you know, making sure that they're pushing this community aspect as well?
Yeah, I suppose that's I don't have a playbook for that one yet. It's kind of learning on the job with that one. I suppose I'm only in the game myself a while, but I think it's massively just trying to drive that culture more so than like, this is what we do, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. It's actually just trying to not make them good people, but like just be like, that's the basis of it. Just be sound, engage with the people. Like, we have group chats on WhatsApp and get them encouraged to hop in there, and you know, we do like a little WhatsApp group chat competitions where everybody like consistency challenges, whoever posts the most like steps in, all that sort of stuff, and just engaging and having a crack with that. I suppose getting the team to go to like the run clubs and stuff like that with us, and even just like the fact that we're doing group sessions. We actually shortened our session recently from like, basically the session used to be like the hour, like full hour. Now we don't start off for like 5 minutes and we end at like 5 minutes early, and like the 5 minutes both sides we're just having the chats with people, do you know what I mean? Especially in the way, and it's like, right, kind of gauge everybody, see what the energy's like. You know, some people might be having a bad day, you're not going to make them do a one round back squat. Just have a bit of chat with everybody, you know, and then at the end, kind of, again, how was that session, how you feeling now, what's the plans for the weekend, how's the kids, all that sort of stuff. And just make it that, like, not only are we engaging with them, but we let them know that we want to engage with them as the whole community. But yeah, it's a learning curve, but I think it just comes down to like having an interest in people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Listening and being there for them.
And
you know,
like, I think the more systemized you try and make it, the less of that you'll have. In a way, it's finding the balance of just being like, just having interest, do you know?
Yeah. And obviously, look, in the fitness industry, you have a hectic schedule. You know, you're expected early mornings, late nights. You know, how do you balance yourself? You know, your work commitments, your physical activity. You know, planning on how you're going to grow your business. Surely it's an awful lot on one plate. I can imagine it is.
Balance
you're probably lucky that you're young, you know, as well, that you have that time on your hand. But give us an insight into, you know, how you go about your day and you know, how you organise yourself.
So like Google Calendar is basically my second brain, or first brain at this stage. But yeah, like balance is a funny one. I think you kind of have to go one side of the balance at different times. If you stay in the middle, I don't think you're going too far in either direction. Sometimes you just have to sacrifice something for something else. I know myself, like I'm quite competitive in terms of trying to be an athlete. But if I go too steep into that side of it, I often lose sight of some of the business stuff. If I go all in business, I have to drop some of the training stuff and just have less expectation of what I'm able to do. Whereas for a while I thought I could do everything, do you know what I mean? And I actually experienced a bit of a crash, I suppose, around February. I opened the gym in October. Like, sleep was maybe 4 or 5 hours a night. I was trying to compete in high rocks, CrossFit competitions, everything. Getting up at 4:30 in the morning. Actually getting up at 4 in the morning. I was sometimes training by 4:30. Finishing training around, let's say, 5:45, straight into coaching sessions before we had a big enough team that they could take some of that. Coach maybe till, let's say, 11. Eat something, maybe train again in the afternoon, depending on what was happening. Back in for coaching then, let's say, at 4:30. Could be there till 9 p.m. Hopefully not have to close and could get out at 9 p.m, but sometimes we stayed out at 11. And that was a cycle for a while, and to be honest, for about a month I probably thought I was invincible, but I slowly learned I wasn't. Injuries, and you just get crashed down, and like some aspects of the business weren't going the way I wanted them to go, and you know, I think it's a learning curve with that. But at the minute I have a pretty good structure. I've pulled back a little bit on the competitive side of things and just kind of set myself some, like, let's say, bigger targets, but over a longer time frame, where I can slowly work towards them and don't put too much pressure on. At the minute, I think my main focus is really just like building an embassy to the point where I can I suppose, have team members in there with higher levels of responsibility who can help push the thing forward as well. At the minute, that's kind of me. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of mentoring everybody to get them to that level.
Yeah.
And I'd rather I suppose hire internally for them positions than have to look for external, because I think the guys are great. So it's kind of bring everybody up at the minute. Impact's the big thing. So we're trying to look at how we can, I suppose, not take away the open gym, but really hone our coaching expertise into helping people as much as possible in that aspect. So I have taken a step back from training a little bit. But a normal day for me at the minute, I suppose, if I'm going to train early, I'll probably train maybe start training about 4:45, train to about 6. I'll try and get a work block in from about 6 to 8, and then usually the guys then are off the floor after coaching. We have like a team meeting, get some coffees, have a team meeting. Depends on the day. There could be this kind of a team alignment meeting on a Monday, see where everyone's at. Kind of every coach, I'd say, has their own cohort of clients who are responsible for checking in with and all that crack. We just kind of see everyone's good there. We do maybe one-to-ones. Then after that, more specifically, knuckling down on different clients and different issues different coaches are having and stuff like that. I don't like to do that in a group environment. I think people are pretty more honest in a one-to-one setting. And then I suppose I'll train. If I'm training in the afternoon, I'll train maybe 12 o'clock, do some work in the afternoon again, and then come back in the evening. I try to be on the floor as much as possible as well, just chatting to clients, because I'm not coach as much anymore, but I still like to have that kind of me involved in the community and gelling everybody and stuff like that too. So,
and your nutrition, like, how do you build that in, to your day? Like, are you prepping the day before, or you prep for the week? Because like, obviously time isn't on your side here with the hours in the day. So are you very prepared in going into everything in terms of nutrition?
Sometimes
whatever it is.
Like I'll prep my breakfast every night before I go to sleep. Just overnight oats, simple. I've been eating the same overnight oats for 3 years now. It's just basic, some days I'm sick of them, but I just get past that. And I suppose lunch is fairly straightforward. I'll fly home to the house. I'll make something like eggs, avocado, toast, something like that. While I'm there, usually when I'm cooking that meal, I'll actually cook a meal for later on too. I like to use that window, like cook later on. So I kind of prep throughout the day. Could be chicken, rice, veg, mince, something like that, something simple. I'll take that back out with me later on, and then usually in the evening time it looks like something like Greek yogurt and protein powder or something like that. So it's all fairly quick stuff to cook. If I do get a chance on a Sunday, I'll prep some stuff. Generally, prep for me looks like just having like the meats ready to go, and like the veg ready to go, and like the carbs ready to go, so that when I do cook, I can just bang it together in 10 minutes. I don't actually like to prep meals as such. I prefer them fresh and wherever else. So yeah, time, like, that's the big thing. Like, it's, you have to use your time when you get it. I think a lot of people get a bit overwhelmed with stuff like that and think, oh, meal prep has to be done in like, a 2-hour block on a Sunday and on a Wednesday and stuff. But if you just take that same 15 minutes where it takes you to cook one meal and just spend a bit of time cooking 2 or 3 but have ingredients ready, you can do it that way too. But I did hire a nutritionist last year actually to keep me accountable to that.
And they set goals, targets, everything, or was it just just tracking everything, or what way was that?
Yeah, so tracking for me, like, I've probably been tracking food weirdly enough since I was about 15. That's just getting into fitness really early. Do you know what I mean? Not in a bad way, I suppose, more out of interest. Actually, that other guy I was talking about, Leon, started a business with me. We were in the same year and stuff. We got into fitness mad early. So I've probably been tracking food now 7-8 years. I can kind of eyeball everything. It's not only about that. It's about keeping me accountable to actually eating and fueling my training and stuff. Because what was happening was, when I was getting really busy, I was just sacking that off and just training and getting injured and tired and crashing and all this crack. So it's about knowing that. I do a Zoom call with her. Dee Dee's her name. She's in Bali at the minute. That's where she's working out of. But having a call with her, let's say on a Thursday, on a Tuesday morning when I'm thinking of not eating that day, I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking tell her this later on. It keeps me accountable, or she's like, why are you injured again? I'm like, So I think accountability is like for everybody, even like clients just who want to get a bit fitter and stay at stuff. Accountability is like,
it's massive.
It's everything. Do you know what I mean?
And being able to go and get that advice, to show that you need more advice in your game is massive, because we even see it ourselves. Like, when we were looking for inspiration, we'd look at countries, like America, Australia, where you can see different concepts and ideas. And you've obviously gone to Texas and seen them gyms, and you're getting advice from other people. 100%. That's a massive way that you're going to grow your brand. So that's definitely something that you're obviously, open to, is to getting advice, mentoring, learning. It's so important. Yeah,
like, I would say every aspect of anything I do that I want to get better at, I either hire a coach or a mentor. Just like someone who's been there, done more than you, knows the pitfalls, can guide you through the weeds. In business, I get a mentorship off a guy called James Robinson and Ollie Marchand, over from the UK.
Yeah, Marchand brand, we know them.
Yeah.
Follow them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I go over and back to them a right bit. I'm over next week actually with them, and they're phenomenal. Like they've done so much, do you know what I mean? And it's good because they're actually in a growth phase as well, but like a growth phase 10 million steps ahead of me. So they're always in a growth mindset too, you know.
Yeah.
I have a coach. I'm doing an ultra run. I'm doing an ultra marathon now in 5 weeks' time, so 60k to run. So has all the experience done that. He done one through the Sahara last year. He just knows all the crack with that too. Nutritionist, keeps me on track with food and education, I suppose, around that too. I can ask her any questions that I'm even struggling with my own clients and stuff like that, and things along the lines. So yeah, business, fitness, and food. So it's all areas you need to be held accountable to. I have someone to hold me accountable to. And people sometimes, will try and do coaching for like a month and try and learn everything. But I'm trying to tell them I've coaches this last 8 years and I still don't know it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that the more you expose yourself to people who are way ahead of you, the more you realise you don't know anything.
Yeah, but look, the learnings you're going to take from the brands like Martin and that are massive.
That was a game changer.
Yeah. And even like we were talking about High Rocks, and you competed at High Rocks there not too long ago in Malaga and got a really good time as well. Probably you want to do a bit better, but still like, you were happy enough. But even to see the growth of High Rocks and CrossFit and all these other sporting events over the last couple of years, there's surely a lot of learnings you can take from how they've grown that brand and community, into your own business. Yeah,
I think the key word he said there is community. Like if you look at the growth of, let's say, CrossFit, High Rocks, all them things compared to, let's say, the growth of bodybuilding, it's not really taking a decline because it's a very much individualized thing. I've done it before, competing that in 2022, I think. Very lonely sport compared to High Rocks, where like we took I think 18 members over to High Rocks Malaga. That's the best. Like, I'd not really forget about the race sometimes when we talk about Malaga, like it's just the best crack ever, Same with like the High Rocks or the CrossFit competitions, you go down the country over the group and it's a bit of crack and everyone's cheering each other on, just all that. Because I didn't find much of that in bodybuilding, and nothing against it, but I think, as you're saying earlier on, that social deficit, like people are craving that now. And if you can lean into the community and like kind of let the community guide you as to where to grow as well, I can learn off them in terms of like I can see what they need and what they want and what they're responding best to. You can only be mentored by your own clients in a sense too, like there's no point in taking the approach of like I know more than you. It's like, no, tell me what you need and let's develop it that way, because people are always changing and trends are always changing and stuff like that, so you kind of have to look at what people actually want and try, instead of just trying to say, right, this is what we're doing, everyone has to do it, you know what I mean? So,
and see with High Rocks, obviously that's a whole new concept that's come out over the last couple of years. Do you feel there's anything there for even yourself developing out a concept, or have you ever thought of developing out your own concept or something like that?
Of like competition,
which you could bring into your own business. Have you ever looked at that or thought about that? Or
it's definitely an angle I have seen. Like Marathon actually done that last year, bringing out ATEX, and it's really successful. Done it last year, competition over in, I done it in Birmingham. They done their own kind of take on it's like, let's say, what their idea of fitness is and put it into a competition. It was quite good. I don't think it's something I'm going to focus on very soon. I kind of want to go more widespread with like helping, not helping the non-competitive people, but like having as much impact as possible even within like just like young professionals and people who haven't necessarily time to compete but do want to reap the benefits of fitness at the minute. And then once we kind of build enough, so brand recognition and stuff behind that, we could push that way. But I'm happy just to kind of, I suppose, lean into High Rocks and lean into the CrossFit comps and all that with my current clients. That, it's something that already exists. We can train for it in the gym. We got High Rocks affiliated last week, so we can even run High Rocks competitions in the gym and stuff like that. So I think lean on that for a while, let people kind of enjoy it, build ourselves up, and then we can it's definitely an avenue to look at.
And like the corporate world has invested massively now in physical and mental activity. Ourselves, we do regular workouts together and team workouts together. Do you feel that that's a trend that's not going to change, that's only going to grow and continue? Do you see a lot of businesses maybe coming to you looking for that, or something that's going to come down the line? Definitely.
I think there's definitely space in the market for something new within that corporate kind of thing. I see a lot of businesses pushing their employees to go out and get involved in fitness with different incentives and stuff, but I don't see a lot of them taking it in-house. Do you know what I mean? Which is probably, it's good in a way, but I think there's an opportunity there to even provide something to businesses where it's like a full kind of package. What's out there at the minute is very virtual. It's all like, you know, you can go to like an online yoga class, or you can go to like an online nutrition seminar, and I suppose it kind of works in the way the world is at the minute. But we're saying earlier on, there is a massive social deficit, and I do see people getting far more reward from being in a social group and having that kind of in-person experience than they do out of the social or the social media, no, not social media, virtual based stuff. So yeah, it's only getting bigger, but I do think that there's a big space in there for a more, I suppose, in-person approach to that sort of thing. Like you guys, you leave, you go to a gym together and you train together and all that sort of stuff. Whereas, like if let's say you all went into separate rooms and done the same workout on a screen and then come back in, how's that? Yeah, it was grand. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah, but I even think it'd be great to actually see an analysis of or a study or something to see physical activity and how it increases productivity within a workplace. Yeah. So I'm surely there's definitely something behind that where there's proven facts of, okay, if we're physically active and mentally active, because we see it ourselves, we know ourselves it's here. Yeah. Why would other business not, you know, embrace that? Because it's going to grow your company, it's going to, you know, improve the team skills within the group. You know, motivation is going to be driven. Like there's so many aspects that are going to improve. Surely there's something there to really present this to other companies and to push it, you know. Have you ever thought of measuring it yourselves in terms of what? It's probably something that we were thinking of, you know, like we have our own PT, you know, who's you know, tracking, and he does all the workouts with us, but it's probably something that we never actually measured, where, you know, we're so focused in our marketing and business on KPIs and you know, success in whatever marketing campaigns you're running. We're probably not thinking about our own KPIs, you know, and how we can be more productive. But even if it'd be interesting to see, I don't know how you do it, but there's definitely a way. If you compare, let's say, you, as a team or individuals, whatever, your performance in the gym, let's say, as your KPIs, let's say, so like strength or fitness, whatever it might be, and how that, like on a graph, lines up with your performance and work in terms of how your sales goes up, or how, you know, different KPIs of the business goes up in the same timeline. It'll be interesting to see, is there a direct business behind us yet, you know? Do you know what I mean? Come, you know, in cut the cameras. But it's very interesting. It'd be interesting to see if you could line it up on a timeline of, like, let's say, how someone gets physically fit or gets leaner or whatever it might be. Is there a direct relationship to how they get more productive in their life? Probably is, you know. I was actually looking at a study as well, and it turns out that it's an old enough study, but probably more relevant now. Actually, I think it was 2009. I think it's something like $1.59 return on investment for every dollar invested in corporate wellness in America. So it's actually profitable. Do you know what I mean? So if you put $1 in, you're getting $1.59 back in terms of how the business actually grew. There was something about, I think, body fat loss as well. In terms of every pound lost between different companies, it was something like $1.44 to $4.16 return on investment for every pound lost across the company, which is incredible. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think companies more think of like a, you know, corporate wellness and stuff as less of an expense and more of an investment. Do you know, as you were saying? You know? Well, this could be something you could put like a sales pitch together. To corporate companies, because I know I'm trying here. We do it ourselves. You know, we'd be like, look, you could have, you know, a marketing manager and a marketing team that's costing X amount every year, and still outsourcing some elements of your marketing, where we can come in as an agency and offer so many services for a set price. That could be something where, you know, you are going to corporate businesses saying, look, I can increase your productivity, you know, you're going to get a return on investment here and invest in it. And that could be something that you could put together and present to a lot of companies. 100%. Do you know what I mean? 100%. And like, aside from the financial, like, you have everything else too. Like, you have morale boost, and like your employee retention is going to be higher. You know, obviously, like, replacing staff's expensive and risky. I think there's a lot. One of the talks is actually over with the marching boys and stuff. They had a guy in, he worked with like a lot of rugby team and stuff anyway. He's like a team dynamics expert, and like basically, like, the longer, he's probably know yourselves, the longer a specific team works together, the higher output they get, because it's like the creative dynamics far better, relationships are far better. But if you constantly bring in new people in, you're almost like taking the rungs off the ladder. Do you know what I mean? So if you have a team that gels better, and even, let's say, these know the brand Represent. 24/7. So George there, he put a gym
in Represent, and they do like team workouts every morning before they start work. I can imagine when everyone goes in, there's a far better team dynamic from the get-go, because they're after doing probably a horrible workout, knowing them boys. But shared suffering in a way kind of brings everyone up too, you know, and everyone's got the endorphins after, and I'd say creativity is a lot higher. And
but even openness to talk to each other,
100%.
Within the group, because you know, voices are what create creativity, because you know, the more people are talking, they're maybe being critical of each other, you know, but it's a constructive criticism, you know, they're trying to improve the team dynamic. Like you think of in any football or any team like that, you know, you're always working towards a higher goal of whatever, winning or getting better. So by having that group scenario and group training session, it's only going to be a positive 100%. Effect on it.
And even like the simple stuff, like, you know, you see someone suffering a workout or whatever and taking a bit of piss or whatever, messing, that actually opens up probably more opportunity for criticism than in work as well, because like you've already kind of broke that barrier down of like, you know what I mean, a bit more banter, or like even, let's say, not being as cautious around people, because people are more vulnerable when they're training and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely 100% does. Like you don't see these big companies who are flying do that for no reason. You know, they know it's working.
And they're investing in it, and you know, they're getting the return from it. You're obviously so young, you know, coming into the corporate world, and there's obviously a lot of experience you've got in the 3-4 years you've been in this game. Where do you see yourself going now over the next couple of years, and how are you planning for that?
That's a good question. Tough question. I don't have a specific plan, but I know what the route I want to go down is, and it's definitely leaning into what happens outside the workout, in a sense, making the product for workout exceptional, the best it can possibly be, but building that whole system around it, that like people don't want to just run out the door after session. They'll hang around and they'll sit on we're gonna plan to have like kind of a lounge area and stuff. They'll hang around, have the chats. They'll go to the run clubs. They'll lean into the social events. They'll, let's say, have a game of air hockey in the facilities. That's kind of the route I want to go down. Like, as I said, based off them gyms, we kind of taking inspiration off from America and stuff, but also where it's like we can kind of plug into, let's say, the corporate world, and even situate ourselves if we were to branch out into multiple locations, which hopefully we will, beside these, let's say, larger companies who could do with that and actually have a facility, not only just a virtual product where it's like, right, we can come down once a month and do a talk and then everything else is going to be online. We can actually have a facility located beside them where it's like not only exclusive in a sense to people who are subscribed, let's say, to them companies or employed by them companies, and they have a hub almost outside of work, as I said, third place. I actually got that kind of from way back reading the book about Starbucks kind of open up. Generally, you ever read that one?
No.
Howard Schwartz, don't want to get his name wrong, whatever guy opened it. That was his idea. It was like he seen like people just selling coffee from diners and all this kind of crack, but he noticed people were going from working home, and he thought about, like, what if I could get this place where people not only wanted just to get a coffee but wanted to stay and talk and do work and have conversations. I think he went on a trip to Europe or something like that way back and seen that was happening in Italy, where people were going to espresso bars and that was like where they were hanging out and stuff. Took that concept back, and now you see what Starbucks has done. Do you know what I mean? And I suppose I think smaller businesses are probably doing that a little bit better than Starbucks at the minute, because they've got that kind of more community based thing. But yeah, definitely that, and bring it like that Embassy is the best gym around, but also the best not a gym around, if that makes sense.
It's more to a gym day.
It's to the point where, like, in terms of marketing, you don't have to like try and out market other gyms around because you're not in the same industry almost. Do you know? And
even like you look at Marchand, you know, we've looked at them before, and how they've grown their brand and franchised it out, you know, into multiple locations.
Incredible.
Like, how do you see, if you were going into that, what would your strategy be to get multiple locations? Because obviously, you know, it's different people, different locations, 100%. Different demographics. There's so much. Like, you have your community now in Carrick. I know here at ZOMA we have our community here in Dundalk. But to go into a new area, say it's further afield, how would you approach that?
Yeah, it's a risky one, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously being from Carrick and knowing people around Carrick and stuff has helped massively in terms of growing the community and stuff. Just by notoriety and even the staff knowing people, and that's like a really big competitive advantage. Like, if I had opened Embassy in Dundalk last year, probably wouldn't be where it is, because no one knows me. Do you know what I mean? So I think using that base and kind of being like, right, let's take advantage of what we have and really hone in on being product centered and developing like a system of like, right, this is how we do coaching and these are our core values here, and like no matter where we go we're going to solidify that and take that as a package everywhere we go. Same with the community aspect of things, is our core values around community and how it ties into training, and then how it ties into like the education stuff we do. So we do some seminars and stuff for clients, like on nutrition, all that sort of stuff, and develop a kind of a system, I suppose an embassy system, where it's like we have all them, let's say, KPIs of like, right, we need community to be like this, we need the training to be like this, we need the results from the training to be like this, we need the education available to be like this, and obviously package it up and culture in. And then once we have something that we're really happy with and we can just see it working on repeat, then we can kind of, I suppose, like copy and paste. But I think picking the right location is massive, and that's why I kind of want to lean into that corporate thing now. So I suppose looking at local companies, when we do get that kind of better packaging system going, and I suppose going locally first, developing that kind of corporate package, and then we have that kind of corporate package as well as the, I suppose, the core value of embassy, and then we can take that to a better location that has good kind of, I suppose, growing industry, like let's say like you guys who really respect that sort of thing, and we can not only just open a gym in somewhere we're not known, but open a gym and people straight away are like, oh, embassy's coming.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you have to get, I think we really have to perfect what we are first before even thinking about going anywhere else. Do you know?
Yeah, and it's really refreshing to hear you say that, because we so often are developing out brands at the beginning and we're like, look, you need to define your values.
Yeah.
You know, you need to define everything in the beginning before you even go and develop out a concept.
100%.
Because that's what's going to, you know, grow your business as you go forward.
Yeah.
There's no point in starting out and being something you're not.
Yeah.
You know, and then trying to change it. That's the hardest thing you can do.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you know, define your values, who you are, what you represent.
Yeah.
Everything is done at the beginning, and you've obviously done that and invested a lot of time in that.
Yeah. I think it's an ongoing process too, but do you know what I mean? And just making sure that like it's not set in stone, but like everybody's aware, like, and happy that is what it is, and everybody's on board. Do you know what I mean? Like marathon, for example, I suppose people are kind of getting into fitness now a lot more, and seeing what marathon is. And seeing, like, I think they're on gym number 3 now, they're probably opening 2 more this year, and seeing how these guys are like just expanding like mad. But Marathon HQ in Harperlin has been open like 7 years before they even opened another gym. Do you know what I mean? And they perfected everything they done in that model, and now it's like, right, let's put it over there. And even like the first gym they opened, they opened there I think 2 years ago, they even had some difficulty bringing their culture to a different area and stuff, so they learn from that and then they're able to replicate it again. It's constantly learning, but it is definitely built off, I'd say, for Marathon example, like this is Marathon, and this is what we're going to bring, and building that culture. I think culture and core values is like the most important part of expansion eventing, I suppose. And
obviously Dave used social media massively, like yourself, you know, to grow their business organically and paid. Like you see Ollie, Charlie, all these, you know, are very active online. Is that something that you promote to all your team members? Do you know that you need to have that presence online and that profile online to grow
it's definitely a lever I'm trying to pull at the minute, 100%. And like people are like, I suppose, not shy, but like a bit reluctant to put themselves out there as much. I've been doing it for a while now. It doesn't really, I could say anything on my story some days, but I think it's a hard one to teach. You just have to kind of encourage it and put it out there. I think I try to keep myself off the Instagram page, like the embassy Instagram page, as much as possible. When there's content going on, try and get one of the girls to do it, or like, you know, Dara, one of the fellas, somebody else to do it, and just try and get them confident. But I think especially with a younger generation, like, I'm not too old myself, but coming in, there's a lot of like anxiety around putting yourself out there and stuff. Whereas I don't know, just never really bothered me too much. But it's definitely something that makes a huge impact. Like people buy people and buy into people more so than, like, you know, if I put a photo up on the page of a dumbbell, or I put a photo of one of the staff, I think they're going to react more to the staff than they're going to the dumbbell, even though they're coming to use the dumbbell. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, people buy people. So I think, and even kind of the BTS stuff, behind the scenes stuff, is a lot more relevant sometimes than the scripted stuff. Do you know what I mean? People want to see the inside story of someone's personality and stuff like that, more so than like coming on and talking about like reps and sets. You know? But,
well, that's how you're going to create, you know, the trust element with the client and you know, the community as well, as all going to feed 100%. From that.
And like, even like the thing with like AI and stuff now, like it's useful, but you can see through it in a sense. Like, you don't connect with it, you know. And someone's asked me yesterday, do I not use AI for captions and all that sort of stuff? I was like, you could, but like, I feel like you just know when there's no person behind something. Do you know what I mean? When there's no person, you can tell the human aspect of things, and people kind of have an eye for that and crave that. I think in a world that's becoming far more automated and far less social, there's a big opportunity for less automation and more social to come back in.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. And in terms of advice, there's so many people starting out in the fitness industry and the PT industry and everything like that. You dropped out, college, you said, and took a big risk probably at the time, diving in, but you really wanted it, obviously you can see the passion and drive that you had for it.
Yeah.
What advice would you give, to someone that's thinking about going down this route? Obviously, you probably didn't have the financial backing at the beginning. No. You might have developed out a couple of clients to build that and to grow it. Where would you advise someone, or if you were starting out yourself, where would you have gone, back then?
I think now, obviously we're always kind of hiring in a sense, like always trying to have conversations with people who might have talent. You have to kind of a pipeline there. What seems to be coming through now is a lot of people are looking at, let's say, like a really polished Instagrams now of some coaches and marathon and stuff like that, and thinking, right, that's where I need to be straight away. Whereas and it's pretty cliche enough, it's just not how it works. Even saying that most people don't know that Marathon HQ has been open 7 years before they ever even had an Instagram page, basically. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But where I started out, I literally was renting a squat rack off a fella in the back, a back corner of a gym with cobwebs and shit around it. I probably saved up about 2-3 grand over a year of going out and coaching and whatever else, and got another squat rack for myself. Then another place, I had little plastic dumbbells, I had a tire that people were flipping around the place, I had I think it was a yoga ball sitting there somewhere, a few little bits, and slowly saved a little bit here and got another set of dumbbells and built it up.
You constantly reinvested into it.
Yeah, and still do. It's not. I don't know if it's a bad habit or not, but I actually struggle to take money out. I rather put it back in and try and build it. But you have to understand it's gonna take a long time. Yeah. But if you have the drive for it, and just stick with it and actually enjoy every bit of it, it's gonna benefit you, because everything I learned over those times of, so it was messy enough coaching and learning and failing and all that crack is the only thing that's getting me through little bits now. Do you know what I mean? Whereas a lot of people come in with this expectation of, they want to have it all like that. Do you know what I mean? Because Instagram gives you everything like that straight away. So I'd say just look, if you're gonna do it, don't be afraid to start small and humble and kind of just build a really solid foundation. You don't have to be famous on Reels or TikTok, or you know what I mean. If I got Embassy Gym famous on TikTok, would it really benefit me in Carrick Cross? Probably wouldn't. So it's actually, even though it looks relevant, it's not really relevant. Build really good relationships with people. Don't be afraid to take a risk. In my opinion, if you're actually passionate about something and you're willing to do it for free, if it comes to it, you're never gonna not be able to do it. You're gonna succeed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. To be honest, back at the start, I would have coached for free, because I was fucking love this. It's good crack and that.
You're learning, you're improving.
100%. But yeah, I'd say just if you're gonna take a risk, take it. Yeah, 100%. But just be willing to suck it up for a few years. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
The biggest thing is, we were saying here, it's one of our values is enjoy the journey.
100%.
And that's the biggest thing, is just go for it, enjoy it. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, it might not work out. Yeah. But at least you can, enjoy the journey that you're on and doing it.
And even if I was to, I suppose when I started out, look at where I am now, and it's only a few years, and have the gym and all this crack, I probably thought that was the pinnacle, that was it. Whereas now I have it all, I'm always thinking what can I do next, and you don't actually, there's no peak where it's oh, I'm here, I can chill out. Well, if maybe some people do, but for me it's there's always a journey. So if you're not enjoying it while you're in it, you're never going to enjoy it. You're not going to get to that point and be I can enjoy it when I get there. You have to enjoy it while you're getting there. Do you know? It's going on a hike with your eyes closed, only open them when you get to the top. Do you know? It's not really,
it's the Himalayas. You're starting, you're on your first peak, but you're trying to hit Everest, so there's so many other peaks to hold 100% to the top.
100%. And if you only got to the top and only seen the top, there's nothing really up there.
You're looking back down on everything that you've done. So
So I think if you're gonna take a risk, take it. I think a big thing is the standard route of college for me wasn't it either. Do you know what I mean? I was pretty much bored. I dropped out of 2 colleges actually. Dropped out of Maynooth. Funny enough, done entrepreneurship in Maynooth and dropped out. And then I moved to Dundalk, done 2 years there, and then just kind of got busy and stuff, and was right, I'm just going down this route. But you don't have to go down that route. There's a lot of avenues. You know.
And look, once you're open to learning, you have the right personality there. That's only going to be a growth curve for you anyway, because you know you're going to find something that you're going to like eventually, and you obviously did. You found that fitness and PT was what you were going for, and you went for it and dived
100%. And even like more so now, there's so many opportunities. Like you know, years ago there was like specific jobs you had to go into. Now you can literally make up your job. You can decide what you do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot more avenues there.
Oh, you can do anything. Do you know? I'm not saying go and be an influencer or anything, but you can do anything. Do you know? There's a lot of avenues, but just find something that you would do for free. Maybe do it for free until you're good at it, and then just full send. Yeah.
Dean, look, that was great. Yeah. We'll jump into we've a quick fire round now of questions. See, can we catch you on the hop now?
You definitely will.
So Dean, just 10 questions to throw at you, as I said, to try and catch you on the hop. The first question is, what would be your favourite holiday destination?
Croatia.
Why?
It's just class. Yeah. I was there a few years ago, like just clear seas, clear oceans, really relaxed. I think it's still got its culture, even though it's a holiday destination. So yeah, it's pretty sick.
Second question, very relevant to yourself. What's your favourite gym exercise?
Front squats. Yeah, just humble you.
Yeah, there's no getting away from it. Yeah. Third question, who was your childhood idol?
Child idol. Wayne Rooney. Yeah.
I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm not like a fan. Fourth question, the best piece of advice that you've been given?
Best piece of advice I've been given. Always be a student.
Yeah. Learning literally what we discussed. Brilliant. Yeah. 5, what day in your life would you relive?
Probably the first day opening the new embassy. Good buzz.
Moment.
Yeah, it was just a good buzz. Yeah.
Your favourite song to relax to?
Something by Zach Bryan, probably. He's good.
I like to pretend to know who that is, but I don't.
Yeah. I think he's from over the road now. Something in the orange, Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Savage.
Most influential person in your life?
Parents. Yeah. Back Everton.
What do you hate most about running your own business?
I wouldn't say I hate it, but the shit falls on you first. Yeah.
Everything comes back on you.
Yeah. Can I caution this?
Yeah, you can. All goes here. Flip side of that, then, what do you love most about running your own business?
The exact same thing in a different way. The way I look at it is, if you take responsibility for absolutely everything, you have complete power to change everything. In a sense, like if everything's my fault, then I also have the opportunity to flip it on its head. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I like having that kind of no burying the head in the sand. If you can accept everything, you can change everything. Yeah.
Last question then. If you got 100,000 to invest in your company today, what would be the first thing you do with it?
Coffee machine. No.
Some coffee machine.
Full coffee bar. 100,000 to invest in the business today. I would probably add like a wellness centre aspect to it, more so than I have currently, like recovery, chill out zones, coffee, stuff like that. Yeah,
it's brilliant. You know, with the amount of times we ask that question, it's always people reinvest it into the business. You know, it just shows the mindset of someone in business and how they want to grow and develop it out. Is, you know, how can we improve it and make it better? And you know, so good to see. I get far more satisfaction out of seeing everyone else get a lot of satisfaction and a lot of value out of it than if it was to spend on anything else. Yeah. No, and we're the same. You know, we get more satisfaction out of seeing clients grow and develop than anything else, you know, and you're 100%. The exact same. And when you're in that growth mindset, you just want to see everyone else kind of win too, don't you? Exactly. You know? But all win together. That's absolutely it. Look, Dean, thanks very much for coming on. It was great to have you in. And look, make sure everyone that's subscribed to our podcast, you can get us on Spotify and all other audio channels, and then also follow us on YouTube and subscribe. But thanks again to Dean for coming in, and stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.